This video recording will show you how to enable ResponseWare within Turning Point 2008 for PowerPoint. And second, we're going to go over Results Manager. So first of all, to enable ResponseWare in your class, it's very simple using the Turning Point for PowerPoint. All you have to do is go into Tools and ResponseWare. Then in the username section, you're going to type in your ResponseWare username, and that's a name we're going to set up for you shortly here. And this is actually an email address, so I'll put in mine. And always remember that it's an email address. It's going to be an ASU email address that we set up for you. It's not just a standard username. And then you're going to type in your password that you set up through ResponseWare once you get your account set up. Next, you have to require login, which requires your students to purchase a ResponseWare account. If you allow guests, basically none of your students will get points for their responses using ResponseWare. And then you hit login at the bottom. What to do is say that you've read the privacy statement and hit accept. Here you're going to get a screen that shows your session ID and your session strength. The session ID is what your students need to input into their mobile device to access your specific clicker session. What you could do is close out of this. You don't have to leave this open. Close out of it, and you are still connected. You'll also be able to show them the connection information. So if you want to show them what channel number your class is on, you could do that normally, and that will also show your ResponseWare session ID. And another way to show that again is if you go down to Tools and ResponseWare, bring this back up. And if you ever need to obtain a new ID in the middle of class, you could hit Obtain New ID for some reason if you want to change that, and that will force all of your students to go back onto their mobile devices and enter this new session ID. So that's it for the ResponseWare part. Now we're going to talk about Results Manager. So Results Manager allows you to edit a session that you did in class. It's very easy to use. What you have to do is just launch the software. Make it smaller here. Launch the software, and then you hit New Course. What you will do is use an existing participant list, so you're using a real participant list that you already have on your computer that you use for your normal sessions. In my case, I'm using an example participant list which only has 3 people on it. Hit open there, and you can name your course. You may want to name this something more specific, say 11 a.m. class, and have a different course for your 2 p.m. class, depending on how many classes you have. Or you could just leave it the same name, which is the participant list file name that you're using, and you hit OK. Now you'll see we have a course here. You could double click on your course. This will bring up your students' names and their totals. As of right now, we don't have any sessions imported in here, so everyone's total is 0. So next what we want to do is add a new column. This new column will have us import an actual session file. So first, for the grade column name, you name it whatever you like. For this instance, we're going to name it Clickers and then the date. You can do a description if you want to. I'll bypass that for now. And then we're going to go down here to this column will have grades calculated from a session file, since you're going to be using a real session file from your clicker session. Hit that and go to choose, and then you'd go onto your computer and choose whatever session file you want to manipulate. Then hit open. Now down here at the bottom, this shows the session file properties. The top part, number of students, number of questions, and maximum points. Those you cannot change. That's based on your session file data. And down here for attendance points and threshold, this is what you want to change. So I think for your case you wanted to give anyone who answered at least one question attendance points or participation points. And I think you said you wanted to do 2. So for attendance points, you would do 2 points. And then attendance threshold, you'd probably want to put this at a very minimum of 1%. So this means if any student answers at least 1% of the questions, even if it's wrong or right, they will get 2 attendance points. And so that means their overall total would be 6 is a max value versus 4. So we're going to hit add here. And now you could see the new column, clickers 8, and each person's score. Now I'll click on this person example 2. If we look over here, this shows their attendance points. So they met that 1% threshold, so they got 2 points there. Performance points is based on the actual session file. So this particular person answered 3 out of the 4 questions correct, and that means between their attendance points and performance points, they got a grand total in this total points earned section, 5 out of 6 points. So ultimately, when you upload to Blackboard, this person is going to get 5 points instead of 3 points. The 3 points was from the original session file, 5 points, which includes their participation or attendance points, since they met that 1% threshold. And we'll view another person here. This person, they got 3 out of 4 questions correct. They got the 2 attendance points for a total of 5 out of 6. And this last person here, they got 100%, 4 out of 4 on the actual questions, plus they met the threshold. So all you have to do is verify to make sure things look accurate. You could also manually change someone's points. Here, for no given reason, we'll give them 10 points. But I just want to show you that you could edit these fields here. I'll edit it back. I believe they had a 6. To export to Blackboard, all you have to do is select the column that you want to export and go up here to export. And you want to export to a learning management system. And here, this should look familiar, just going to do the standard LMS login information. And here we're going to put my ASU courses.asu.edu. Hit next. Type in my information here. Next. Again, you'll probably know how to do this stuff already. Log in here. To wait for these to populate. While that populates, I'll let you know that when you export your students' grades from Results Manager, that's all you have to do. You don't have to go back into Turning Point for PowerPoint and re-upload anything. If you're not doing any editing to any session files, then you don't need to do Results Manager, but anytime you want to give them those extra points, go to Results Manager and upload the edited grades through Results Manager to Blackboard. Here, you're going to select the course that you want to upload to. It's giving me this error, 1 or more students are missing a Blackboard ID. That's just because the example students that I use aren't part of my actual Blackboard. So it's giving me that error. And here we're just going to go add grade shown above to Blackboard gradebook. And we're going to go new item. We'll just name it the same, clickers 8. And then the max value, it says 4. You don't need to change this here. but you're going to see at the top here, people got above 4. The max value is based on the actual session file, and then their actual scores up here is based on your edits within Results Manager. So I'm going to hit finish here, and it exported successfully. And that's the end of that tutorial. Please email me back if you have any questions about this, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. Thank you.